Newest site in Margaret Drive near Queenstown MRT station, and there's no launches in the last 8 years. Penrith is launching in the start of October. There's a lot of demand in this area, but should you go for Penrith? Today, let's take a deep dive. Hi, my name is QJ.
My name is Yuji.
Let's talk about some hard facts. Okay, firstly, location. Penrith is the newest GRS launch in Margaret Drive. Okay, and it's sitting right beside Dawson. The site will be north-south facing and located right beside the linear park, bringing you just 3 minutes to Queenstown MRT station and also within walking distance to Margaret Drive Food Centre. And also within this site itself, if you have a family with children in mind, okay, you also have 2 primary schools within 1 kilometer. Queenstown Primary School is just right at your doorstep.
Penrith is proudly developed by Hong Leong, Guaco Land, and Intrepid Investments. This is a 462-unit, 2 to 4 bedroom development. 2 blocks of 40 stories. This development offers a childcare facility at level 40, facing towards the north. This is the view that we're looking at.
So how much demand are we looking at for Queenstown area?
I think before we start talking about the demand, we need to look at the supply in Queenstown first. So I just quote for newer estates. For example, I just use Lentor for example. Government projection is about 4,008 to 5,000 units. That's for a new estate. For Queenstown being a mature estate, if we were to look at the developments within close proximity to the MRT, right? I'll just name a few like Margaret View, 309 units, Commonwealth Towers, 845 units, Queen's Peak is 736, Stirling is 1,259. Wow. And Queen's being the oldest among the 5, right? TSL 122 units. So in total for a mature estate within walking distance from the MRT for Queenstown is only 3,871, which is well below the benchmark for newer estates. If we look at in terms of pricing for Commonwealth Towers, the recent transaction, they're clocking 2,536 PSF for a 1,000 square feet unit.
And this is a non-harmonized
project, okay? And for Stirling, 2,670 per square foot. The sellers, right, they make like 300,000 to close to 1 mil, like 900 over 1,000. Wow, close to $1 million in area. So they are making like 180 plus to maybe 300 plus per day. And in terms of the total transaction for all these developments, okay, Queen's Peak, we have like 197 profitable transactions. Stirling, we have 324. Commonwealth Towers, 249. Margaret View is 65.
And this is the supply that we are looking at. Also the recent transactions that are going around in Queenstown area. I actually did a quick search, very quick search on Property Guru, just on one of the platforms that are looking at the resale listings. You'll realize that amongst the 3 and 4 bedrooms listings, most of these condos that you mentioned, the 5 condos that you mentioned, we hardly see many listings out in the market. That also reflects that even within Queenstown, this area, if you're looking for a resale property, if you want to move into this area, the amount of units that you can look at, the amount of people that are actually selling or people that are buying is actually very vibrant.
And I just want to highlight that. So for example, Margaret View, so there are 65 profitable transactions, 0 unprofitable. So there are people who are still looking at Margaret View. Why do we see slightly lower numbers in terms of transactions?
So that means Penrith will be something that is very interesting because we are only 3 minutes away.
Yes.
Alright, so if you're looking at Penrith, you're definitely also going to be looking at the resale properties around Queenstown MRT station. So Charlene, how does Penrith compare to the resale projects nearby?
I think before we look at that, we also need to look at how District 3 condos have performed. Over the past 10 years, it's been soaring success. It's got 75.7% increase in the past 10 years. And actually 90.6% of the profit of the units have been profitable, with over half of them taking in more than 300,000. Actually, case in point, recently I sold the Stirling Residences unit for 2.5 million, and that translates to 2,555 in PSF. And when you take that back into harmonization, that would give you about 2,678. And furthermore, if you do a lease reset, because the land was sold in 2017, that translates to about 2,961 PSF.
Very safe, reasonable price. Charlene mentioned about harmonization. Harmonization refers to change in calculation in terms of your gross floor area. So what that means is Penrith is going to be a harmonized project. The floor area that is being quoted will no longer account for your aircon latch and void space as well, which means the floor print you'll be looking at will be slightly smaller and the PSF you're looking at will be slightly higher, just for calculation.
When the buyers buy, they are paid for what they actually own, and that brings a lot more value.
So lesser wasted space, better efficiency, more savings, and better value for the consumers.
What will be the potential exit strategies that we should focus on?
In the Singapore market, the most obvious exit strategies will be looking at the upgraders from the nearby HDB flats.
Since 2023, HDB has launched 5,000 new flats in Queenstown itself. This means more housing opportunity in the whole area. Since 2020, there are 6,000 new residents in Queenstown alone.
So Jim, I also heard that Queenstown is also home to one of the most expensive HDB flats in Singapore.
In June 2025, a 5-bedroom at the Sky Terrace at Dawson has been sold for $1.65 million. And they have only bought it at around $500,000 only.
Well, that means that they made more than $1 million in cash proceeds.
With $1 million cold hard cash, they can easily make the down payment for a $3 million private property.
Wow. So Jim, does that mean that every single $1 million HDB flat around here is going to have cash proceeds that cross 7, 8, 900,000, even $1 million in cash proceeds?
Yes, QJ, you're right again. 5-room HDBs in that area has been selling from 1.5 million onwards. So any one of them who has sold their HDB flats can easily make the down payment. So besides the upgraders from Queenstown, you can expect the upgraders from the Commonwealth area, Buona Vista, even Jurong itself to make the switch to private properties.
Well, this sounds like a lot of people that are able to buy into Queenstown area.
I think the exit strategy for Penrith is very promising.
So with the recent launches being so hot, with some launches selling more than 90% on day one, that means there are more people buying than the actual number of units that are being released in the market. Am I right to say that the balloting game is really very, very challenging?
Yes, I agree. But I got a piece of good news for you. Hong Leong and Waco offer you this loyalty program. So you skip the queue and buy before everyone else. So contact us to buy up more.
See you at Penrith.
See you.